to, sorry, it's taking a minute. Sorry. One.
Okay, great. Welcome to the How to Achieve Marketing Q3 OKR meeting. The OKRs are on the website, and Stella has the first question.
Great. So I feel like my job is always to nudge on, can we lean a little bit more into impact? So you have some KRs where it says like, we're going to launch something. It may be that just getting something launched by end of quarter is the accomplishment. But in a few instances in particular, are there opportunities to kind of tighten it up and say, we're going to launch by hitting a number of people, having a certain number of partners, doing something that more directly signals impact?
The answer is yes. We've been a little behind on our OKRs this quarter because they were sort of falling out of the plan we presented yesterday. So I will ask the team to add a metric on sort of the launch type goals. You know, how many emails sent or something, so that we can do that. So that'll be an addition to the KR. So yes, you're exactly right. And I intend to have more of that.
Okay, great. And then on the second one, it was probably for me, but I think what a lot of teams are doing is they actually put like KR and what the KR is. And you have a bunch of bullets of what the KRs are and then cascading initiatives. Maybe just directly calling that out, because there's a little bit of a mix of what the actual effort is and what the number is. And that way it just helps me track. Happy to go and help you do that too. But this is kind of a cleaning it up thing.
Okay. The KRs are the things with checkboxes beside them on the Epic. But yeah, you're right. Some of them are things to get done versus a metric.
Yeah. And I think the other piece of it is like where the initiatives aren't going to necessarily cascade from the KRs clearly. Unless you have them below. So we can actually discuss that more later, but it just, when I'm trying to make the connections, I found it a little bit hard for me.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then the ROI analysis is awesome. I know that in general, we're just thinking about FY22 already. So I was wondering what the timeline for that was, if it's end of quarter, or if you think we're going to have a firm marketing perspective in the next month or so.
Well, I actually asked finance what their timeline is. I don't know if there's anybody from finance on, around when they needed that. There's not a particular date yet. So I don't think that once we get the ROI analysis done, I think it'll be relatively quick to get to a draft budget. So I don't know if I don't have a date for you, but you know, I think we will meet whatever finance date has for our preliminary FY22 budget. But I just want to do it from a data perspective.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, those are my questions. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the context in the Q3 web traffic. For that last year we had the funding, and that's always great coverage. How do you, maybe to pivot into a question, how do you think about that? Because even in previous quarters, we also had the 20% target. And in that case, it wasn't because of last year. It's kind of funny how like a company grows revenue, but the web traffic doesn't grow linearly with that. And I've seen that that's normal in enterprise. How to think about that? Is it because you kind of, your web traffic is basically representing new customers coming in, or yeah, how do you think about that? How come we can grow the company revenue much faster than the web traffic?
Because the web is, I think, only one way we communicate with customers. So, and the way we were getting to our MQL goals for this year was the multiplication of 20% web traffic growth and 20% conversion growth gets you to what, 40% overall MQL growth. So that's kind of how we were thinking about it, because that's what we needed to hit the targets based on the marketing model. I think we can do better than 20%. and the reason we've put Danielle in that role is to consolidate more investment back to our website, as you and I've talked about. And that's why I'm saying, hey, we need to hit 20% this quarter anyway. Let's try. It's just it's a bigger stretch than it would be in a previous quarter. And I think what I said was on the path to 25% in Q4. I mean, I think we are underperforming on SEO. So we've got to get our content strategy aligned to make sure that we are, so net, we can do better. We're not performing as well as we should. We can execute better to do more. And I don't know exactly why it doesn't grow as fast as revenue. So I don't have a good answer for that, but I've seen that about 4 times too, like you said.
Yeah, it seems to be common. We've been underperforming on SEO for at least a year, I think, maybe more. Are we underinvesting? Are we just getting tricked up with the 302 redirects? Are we changing something substantially in order to see a different result?
Yeah, so there's one of the growth marketing OKRs is a content strategy that's built for SEO. So we had the content team sitting in corporate marketing, and then we had SEO under kind of the small growth team. And we've now put those two things together under Danielle in order for the content team to be executing on an SEO driven content strategy. That was the missing link that we hadn't put together. So that's one factor. The second factor is we do need to make sure that we have our 302. We just need to remove any problems that technically would be causing us to not get the traffic that we need. And then the third is just to make better content. I guess that's the first point, but also getting strategic marketing focus on website first, so that all of their technical content accrues to our SEO.
That makes a ton of sense. I think for SEO, social validation, like Twitter links back to your content, are getting much more important. So I think there's a big role there as well, making sure that the content is shared on social widely.
Here, check this out. I got this email today from, I don't know if any of you have tried the product called Shift. And they're calling it so they're sending out this Shift digest. And so they have their own articles. And then down here, how to keep learning. Both of these are GitLab articles in their email.
That's amazing.
Another company sent it. So we need more of that across all of the content areas.
Great. What is Key Alliance? It says somewhere, launch Key Alliance partnership webpage and campaign.
Is this a private on YouTube? It's
a public one.
It says public on the channel.
Okay.
So we'll move that question.
It's the one that
that's key.
The most important one.
Okay.
It's the one we have the bi-weekly meetings on.
Great. It said alliance and not alliances. I could have noticed. Thank you. What is a developed custom attribute model based on analysis?
So a linear attribution model is just the best of the crappy attribution models that are out there. What we really want to get to is a model that weights our touches appropriately. But I want to do the full ROI analysis using linear and then test some other attribution models and see what that looks like as well. So it's comparing attribution models and coming up with one that best matches our business.
Cool. One suggestion for that would be to, for growth revenue, normally in a linear attribution model, you attribute, you take all the marketing activities and you can smear it, even with just an attribute. You take all the marketing activities and smear the revenue across them.
Yes.
And there's different ways, the W and whatever.
Yep.
I suggest that for growth revenue, we also say, hey, there's also non-marketing activities that contributed to this. Like some of it is just the product's good and the users are using it, and some of it is the salespeople that engage, and some of it is customer success. So we don't smear the entire revenue over the marketing activities, but we say, hey, it's a bunch of activities, and that will kind of help us in this conversation. Like, okay, how much to focus on new versus growth? I think marketing has a really important role to play in growth revenue, but I think counting every growth dollar the same way we do a new dollar would lead us to overinvest in growth. Well, we know big part of marketing is getting those new dollars in. So please consider that as we're developing this custom attribution model, to have growth dollars not count fully, or count
maybe like a
on
discount rate on growth dollars or something like that.
Yeah, the nice way to say it is count non-marketing activities there. The much clearer, not so nice way is discount growth dollars.
Well, I think the issue is I'm not going to counting marketing is hard enough that I'm not going to sign up to figure out how to count everything else's attribution to revenue.
Okay. Yeah, let's do the clear thing.
Makes sense. Absolutely.
Cool. Let's do the discount rate, and I think that will be super helpful, because then we can then we have one metric between the two. Great.
How about contribution percentage? So it's a positive thing instead of a negative.
That's good.
I love it. Thank you.
I like that. It'll be interesting to see what the attribution looks like without doing that. Because I'm not sure the premise that, like, now I need to go look, but yeah, because you're still counting all the growth revenues. Because really what you're doing is you're apportioning things. You're saying, this is how much revenue there was. How do you apportion that? So, there will always be more growth revenue. So yeah, okay. I need to talk to Visible about this. I just need to, I need to make sure we're thinking, I need to make sure we're thinking through the ROI model correctly. Because if sales sells twice as much, does that make sense? The ROI, yeah, it still makes sense. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, sales sells twice as much. The ROI of marketing is twice as much. That's yeah. I think I'm willing to sign up for that.
Yeah, in the simplest form.
All right, will you sell twice as much, please?
I'll take care of that part.
Okay.
Oh, I say you're trying to capture the influence on the delta. This is the A/B test, right? If it didn't have that marketing investment, it would have been X. And obviously this is extremely difficult to figure out, but that's what we're trying to capture, is because of the marketing investment, we got that much more growth, that much more out of that opportunity. Okay, how much did we influence? Which I agree is really hard, but I don't doubt your skills, Todd.
Thanks. Glad you believe. Okay, any other questions? Great. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. Until next time.
Thanks. Great work.
Thanks, Todd.